Well, hi again, everybody, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Matt Report. It's brought to you by the Cobos Insurance Center, and a little bit later on during the show, we'll have My Favorite Move. Each and every week, that's presented by Century 21, Deanna Family Realty. Tim Elkhorn with AM 930 WEOL, Sean Bennett from the Chronicle Telegram, who's proud to advertise the U.S. Army here this week.
Yeah, it's signing day, you know.
There you go.
Nobody going to West Point this year, but I'm out and about doing some school runnings and stuff. We're getting to talk to a lot of athletes out there. It's been a great day. Fun.
All right, good stuff. I just thought I would give you the plug there. You know,
Yes.
if you're going to wear the shirt, and I know you served very proudly,
Yes.
so we thank you for that.
Yes, yeah, it's a great 4 years of my life, and I still keep in contact with a lot of Army buddies. So yeah, we enjoy every, especially the last few years of beating Navy in the annual football rivalry. So.
We'll talk Navy a little bit later on. Right now, let's talk about our top 3 performances from this past week. Sean always likes to dig through the records and dig through the matches from last week, so we'll start things off. Usually one of the top 3 is a wrestler from Elyria, no different this week, Dylan Shawver.
Yeah, Dylan Shawver, and obviously the state, the team dual regionals were this week, so that's all that was going on for this weeks of competition. But Dylan Shawver for Elyria, and if you haven't heard by now, the Pioneers won their 5th straight regional championship out at Oregon Clay. But Dylan went in and went 3-0 with 3 pins at the Division I regional there at Oregon Clay. He pinned Anthony Wayne's Caden McAllister in 102. Then pinned Avon's Quinn Sanfilippo in 29 seconds, and then bumped up a weight class and pinned Oregon Clay's Mike Daly, who was ranked number 18 in the state, in 15 seconds.
Wow.
So it got better each time along. He just kind of narrowed that time down, with 102 being the longest he was on the mat.
Outstanding. Well, another young man that did a great job, Tommy Sear from Avon, also did very well at Oregon Clay.
Right. Avon, they won their opener against Findlay and then lost to Elyria in the regional semifinals. But Tommy Sear went 2-0, 2 pins, again, just kind of like Shawver, pin in every match at that Division I event. Sear opened with a pin in 1 minute and 37 seconds over Findlay's Avery Charles, then pinned Elyria's Liam Fogarty in 2:42. That was Avon's only on-mat win against the Pioneers. Jack Resch received a forfeit at heavyweight, but the only Avon wrestler to get a win over Elyria was Tommy Sear, so really good performance by him.
And we'll go back to Elyria for our 3rd wrestler as far as top performances in the past week. Jake Evans, Pioneer, another great showing.
Yeah, another 3-0 performance. He had 2 pins in the event there. He opened with a pin in 34 seconds against Anthony Wayne's Brody Stultz. Then he pinned Avon's Aaron Indrazal in 109. Then he won 7-0 over Oregon Clay's Jacob Meek, who is ranked number 13 in the state. So Jake Evans has been getting it done, all season long. He's having a great sophomore season. I really expect some big things, not just this season, but the next 2 years out of his high school career.
So Elyria wins the regional, so obviously they now move on.
Yeah, they're down at the state duels. They're the 4th seed there at the St. John Arena in Columbus on Sunday, not Saturday, Sunday. So we're going to have some conference tournament championships on Saturday, the state duels on Sunday. It's going to be a big weekend for wrestling. They're matched up with number 5 Wadsworth in the first round. And then they're hoping to meet the number 1 seed, Cincinnati LaSalle, who knocked them out of the tournament last year in the first round in the semifinals. So that's kind of the goal for the Pioneers right now.
Maybe a little revenge on their mind.
I'm sure that is on their mind. They've got a great dual lineup right now. I think they've got double-digit kids that are ranked in the state. They've kind of messed with that lineup early there, pushing Colin Noel in at 113 and bumping guys up to kind of fill up a gap in that middle of the lineup. But they are definitely going to give anybody that they face some real test.
All right, so good luck, Elyria, on Sunday down in Columbus. Well, as I mentioned at the outset of the program, each and every week during our Matt Report, we like to talk about a young wrestler's favorite move, and it's brought to you by Century 21, Deanna Family Realty. Sean, I understand this week a young man from Amherst is going to show us his favorite move.
Yeah, Amherst Adam Loff, and it's kind of cool because for back-to-back weeks, we're going to get to see a mat move. Again, not a neutral position move like we've been used to most of the season here. Adam's going to kind of show, again, another way to score points when you've already earned a takedown. Kind of get one of those near falls that I kind of explained last week where you get the either the 2 points or the 3 points, and he does a great job at it. He's been a great wrestler for Amherst for the last 4 years. So he's looking for a big finish to his senior season.
All right, so senior Adam Loff is going to show us the thread tilt. So let's take a look at my favorite move, brought to you by Century 21, Deanna Family Realty.
My name's Adam Loff. I'm 120 for Amherst Steel High School, and I'm going to be showing the thread tilt. So first I like to chop the arm, get it down, and then I grab the wrist right here. And then I go under right in between his legs. I put my leg like right here. Put my leg right here. And then I grab right here, I hook it right here. I put pressure right into his back. And I just fall back. And you make sure this is up and your knees are pinched.
Well, there you go. Obviously, kind of a variation on what we saw last week, at Keystone with the cross wrist flip. No, tilt.
Tilt. I knew you were going to get on me about that.
No, but it's just a variation of it. Again, you kind of see it looks similar. The end result is similar, where they're exposing the opponents back to the mat, getting those extra points. But yeah, just some real nice moves, and I'm glad that these guys are kind of showing that step by step and really kind of showing maybe young wrestlers on how to get that done.
Very, very cool. So thank you, Adam Loff of Amherst, for showing us your favorite move. And again, brought to you by Century 21, Deanna Family Realty. Another thing that we do each and every week during the Matt Report, we like to spotlight a coach, one of the guys that's out there working with the wrestlers day in and day out, week in and week out. This week, we're going to head to Firelands and Josh Walbum.
Yeah, young, energetic coach. I'm really liking a lot of the coaches around Lorain County right now are just full of energy, and it's why the county's doing so well. But he's another former competitor, a guy that I covered. I think I've done like 2 or 3 already in the last few weeks. His competitor highlights he listed was earning a spot on the All-Navy wrestling team.
What was that? What team?
Yeah, the All-Navy wrestling team.
All-Navy wrestling team.
Obviously, they're better in wrestling than they are in football. So. No, he was great on that All-Navy wrestling team, and he was nationally ranked as a competitor in college. So, awesome competitor highlights for him. How did he get into coaching? He was coaching actually freestyling Greco-Roman, which he still does, and he started becoming a high school coach, which obviously everybody knows is the folk style version of wrestling. His top coaching accomplishments, he coached 2 state placers last season. He was named the Greater Cleveland Wrestling Coaches Association Coach of the Year. So obviously great accomplishments there for him. The coaches who have influenced him, Eric Burnett and Scott Burnett. Obviously, a lot of people know them, all across the top of the state. Scotty's out there at Perrysburg now, and Eric's here at Elyria. His favorite move to teach young wrestlers, the arm throw, which, he's a Greco guy, so throws are all, he really loves the throws. Most important intangible for wrestler, mental toughness, or pretty much any sport. Favorite college program?
Ohio State. Recurring trend. Why don't you wear an Ohio State sweatshirt?
They're ranked number 2 in the country. It's no surprise, I guess. So, favorite high school tournament, the Perrysburg Invitational, which they just competed in a few weeks ago. Their toughest opponent, Buckeye, who they're heading into the PAC tournament this week. Buckeye is the favorite to win their 3rd straight title in the Patriot Athletic Conference. In his free time, he likes to spend time with his family. He likes to go hunting and fishing. And a fun fact about Josh Walbum, he's a huge Star Wars fan.
Wow. I wonder if he's seen all the prequels, all the sequels, how many are there now?
Oh, I think they're about to make the 9th in the main series. They've got Solo. They've got they're over double digits as far as all of the movies go. Plus, they've got the animated series. They've got, it goes on and on. Webisodes.
Josh, hey, I give you credit. I'm not a Star Wars guy, but hats off to you.
He's going to probably have to miss Comic-Con, though. I think it's the same time as the state tournament, so he's going to be down there in Columbus with me, and we're going to miss Comic-Con back here in Cleveland. So,
a nice job while you were at Navy. All right, it's time for weekly trivia and some fun facts. So, Sean, what have you got for us this week?
Well, as I said, the Patriot Athletic Conference is this week. We have a couple conference tournaments, but I'm kind of focusing on the Patriot Athletic Conference because it is the final Patriot
one.
Athletic Conference. So, just a couple facts about it. This weekend will be the Patriot Athletic Conference's 14th and final league wrestling tournament. Buckeye has won the last 2 PAC titles and 5 overall. Black River is next up with 4 PAC titles, including the very first 3. Then Keystone has 2, and Wellington and Firelands each have 1. There are 3 4-time PAC champions and 11 3-time PAC champions, with Firelands Peyton Bergdorf and Lutheran West Parker Watson having the opportunity to join the 3-time list this Saturday. They're both 2-timers. One of the 3-time winners is Clearview's John Bill, who was actually a 4-time conference champion. He won his freshman year in the Lorain County Conference, then won the next 3 in the PAC.
Yep.
And you know what? I went through the trivia tidbits without giving the answer last week, so these people are probably chomping at the bit. So before I go to this week's question, we probably need to answer last week's question. So as we were talking about last week, I think we were talking about the dual team, and we were kind of mentioning, now this is going into last weekend's regional tournament. There were 4 Larry wrestlers that had winning records in the dual team tournaments. There's obviously more now because there's the freshmen did well. I mean, there's probably 7, 8 guys now. But
Right.
going into that week, going into last Saturday, the 4 that were, and if you read my story like a day later after the video came out,
They were.
Mick Burnett was 9-0 going into that weekend. Dylan Shaver was 8-1, and Enrique Munguia and Jake Evans both 3-1 because they were obviously only competing last year as freshmen, so they're in their sophomore years. But all those guys added 3 wins this weekend. A couple freshmen added 3 wins. I mean, they got a handful of guys now.
That's
But-
awesome. Okay.
Going back.
Now we'll circle back.
Back to the PAC tournament. The question for this week. I mentioned just in that last tidbit that there are 3 4-time PAC champions. That's the question. Who are the 3 4-time Patriot Athletic Conference champions throughout that 14-year run of the Patriot Athletic Conference?
All right, 3 of them.
3 Patriot Athletic Conference champions.
All right, that's your trivia for the week. So put your thinking cap on, and when we get together next week, Sean will give you the answer to that very first thing.
Yeah, before the trivia.
Right.
I mean, before anything else.
All right, anything else before we close up shop?
No, just continuing on with the great season of wrestling. I'm just like crazy this week. We're doing stories. I've got a match on Thursday night. I've got PAC. I'm going to that final PAC conference on Saturday. Going down to Columbus for the state duels, and then we ramp up for more conference tournaments next week, and then sectionals, and then district, and then state. So yeah, we got a lot of fun, uphill wrestling going right here.
There you go. Good stuff. And again, Sean will have it covered all over the place in the Chronicle Telegram. Well, speaking of Sean, thanks to you. Of course, thanks to Steve Mannheim and Kristen Bauer. They're handling things here on the Chronicle Telegram side this week. Biggest thanks goes to you, the viewers. Hope you enjoyed this week's edition of the Matt Report, brought to you by the Cobos Insurance Center. Until we talk again next week, so long, everybody.